You've come, my child, to this land of Danguk. In the beginning of our 5,000 years history, our people were loved by a god. So loved, he swindled his father to descend as their king. He wished to live with the mortals he adored, and they, in turn, loved him. Or perhaps it was what he offered that they loved. Tend to my sandalwood tree, for it shall provide you succor and shade. Pass on my wisdom, and you will be as gods themselves. But those that couldn't ascend found no solace in death, for their souls would be born anew to again defy suffering until their virtue proved them worthy for that realm above the 9 heavens. Even as I guide the departed, it's hard to blame the ones that found this just a little cruel. But that's why the Black Bear Clan exists. We are an organization, a family of exorcists, for whom fate and the gods had higher plans. Though you never chose this life, my child, you must soothe the malice brewing in the shadows of these lands. For you are Mudang, and you must mend the heartache. With your words, magic, song, and dance, you must guide the dead and the living to shepherd the would-be gods of Danguk until they may know true peace, even as few understand your path. A heavy burden, I know, but remember this. I am with you, my child. And you are never alone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Paradise in Bloom. This is an Undying Corruption adventure set in 3 arcs for level 8 players. This production was created and sponsored by 9 Heavens Press. Thank you so much for the sponsorship. We are very, very excited for this game, and we cannot wait to show you all the wonderful Korean mythology and folklore that we will be going over today in this adventure. We're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Before we do, I would like to say thank you to all of our Patreons. Because of our Patreons, everything that we do here is possible. Without them, none of it would be possible. It's awesome. You can find all of our previous episodes on our YouTube. You can find links to both of those in our chat. And shout out to Epidemic Sound, royalty-free music at epidemicsound.com. We are also featuring Kevin McLeod, found at incompetech.com. You can use !Undying at any point during this production to get information about 9 Heavens Press. You can find them on Twitter at Heavens Press. And we're going to introduce everyone at the table. Please tell me who you are, where we can find you, and we'll start off with Saf.
Hello, hello, I'm Saf. You can find me everywhere on the internet at a clerical error 7. And that's pretty much it for me. Oh, Arcane Wares, I have a business. It's a TTRPG streetwear company that you can check out. And I play Ajushi tonight, a little Hurt Domain cleric. Yay.
Awesome. We have so many clips about Ajushi from last time. Oh, it's so good. Can't wait to see what kind of shenanigans come out today. But thank you so much. We're going to move on over to Danny.
Hello, I'm Danny. You can find me on the internet as at Bitterthorn. I just do a lot of cosplay, content creation, and all this other random stuff depending on my current hyperfixation. Which currently, thanks to Jess and Joe, is digital planners. So that's it.
Awesome. And who are you playing today?
Oh, I am playing a Yoon today, who is a Noru, which is like a deerfolk, circle of the mediums druid.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Jess unfortunately can't join us today. They are feeling under the weather, but you can find Jess at Burst of Hope on Twitter. They are also very heavily involved with Utopia, a very awesome community that we all love and cherish. So please check out Utopia as well. We're going to hop on over to Carrie.
Hello, I'm Carrie, or Miscellanea. You can find me all over the internet at Miscellanea. I was going to say .com, but that's not true. But it is, but it's not. Anyway, my pronouns are she, they. I am playing Oak, a Lunamorph halfling tactician. A tactician is the brand new class with the supplement from Undying Corruption. And his pronouns are he, him.
Awesome. And what about Oak's little companion?
Oh, yeah. Oak has a large celestial mount. His name is Lidl.
Needle.
Awesome. Yeah. White and green and blue and yellow. Serpent type creature.
Excellent. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, Josephine.
Hello, everyone. I'm Josephine. I'm at Scary Dog Friend. I do lots of stuff. I'll probably talk about it later. I am playing Ihwa, the Gumiho, a Korean fox spirit, Way of the Dosa monk, and 1 level in a very curious nine-tailed soul sorcerer.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We're going to do a little recap here of what happened last time. We'll start off with a scene of our party. They begin doing repairs in Nampang. It was with a thunderous bellow that they were summoned by a Kizuhan that called for the Black Bear clan to the Ocean Palace, the behest of the Dragon King of the Southern Sea, Kwangli. Kwangli is a Yongwan, a powerful dragon creature that rules one of the cardinal oceans here in Danguk. Shortly after, you met Liz Hora, the dragonborn priestess that greeted you and offered you both sanctuary and feast in the small stone temple that was atop this large, gargantuan, island-sized turtle. And after a journey deep into the ocean, you came across the city, the village that surrounds the Ocean Palace. And there you witnessed a few interesting landmarks. You managed to spend some time at the fish Chonggol, and you met the snail bride, Mrs. Choi. Enjoyed some soju and a bit of conversation there. You passed by the hermit market, and you saw that it was run by an awakened giant crab, but we didn't have time, unfortunately, to investigate further. You also passed by the Rift, the sanctioned red light district that is legal and welcome here in the Ocean Palace city. And then finally was the Ocean Palace, where as you made your way forward, you eventually came across the Dragon King's chambers, and you met Princess Soshin and Chong Taeju, the conservative faction minister. Just for a little reminder of this sweet princess, here's her art. A very pretty lady. She had a very fierce demeanor about her. She seemed very upset. You learned very quickly that when the priestess told you that you were the only ones to know the truth of what happened to the Dragon King, that it was quite literal. It was only just recently that Princess Soshin and the minister had pushed their way into the Dragon King's chamber and realized the Dragon King is dead, and there's something very wrong. You have been summoned here by the High Priest to hopefully acquire the resurrection flowers in the flower fields of Sochon. This is the only thing that can bring him back. With a divination by Yoon, you were able to discern that this was no ordinary sort of death. Kwangli is dead but not lost, somewhere in between. So it's up to you, Mudang of the Black Bear clan, to find the resurrection flowers. thrust into a portal that took you into Choshang, the underworld. You were spirited into what appeared to be a large administrational building, and you were found in the middle of a queue as some devils began to harass you, dressed as if they are hard-working desk jockeys. They were immediately thwarted and dismissed by the presence of the Chosong Saja you know and trust, Song Ji-hu, the leader of the Black Bear clan, and their Mudang. She gave you a writ that signified that you are sanctioned to be here. A conversation was had with the Narakwang, the underworld kings, and it should allow you some passage. But you are some distance away, and the way is not going to be easy. You made it past the front gates, you made it past the toll booth, but now you are on this Hamdo Riverway. We need some spooky music up in here. From afar, this Hamdo River appears as if a celestial pathway connecting floating islands, but stepping closer to it alters perception of it into a natural riverway surrounded by mist. The waters are thick and gray and impossible to see through, besides one's own reflection. The wind around you howls with the agony of wailing spirits, lost in the process of their own wandering in this afterlife of wilderness. As the group of you are making your way slowly across this long bridge, you look down and see these murky, misty depths of water all around you, and they have a tumultuous surface to them. You can see that there are spirits trying to pass through and pass by you. I'm gonna need everyone to roll me. We're going straight into it, y'all. A Constitution saving throw.
Six.
Okay.
7.
7. All right.
Oh no!
I got
An
a
8 for me.
Okay.
I got a 15.
Okay, you all fail.
No.
This is the
Oh,
first
no.
time I've done better than everyone else, though. Even though I failed, this is the best news I could have gotten.
Oh no.
You all take 6 necrotic damage, and your maximum hit points are reduced by 6.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
bad, y'all. As you're moving across this bridge, you find this oppressive weight kind of bearing down on you. You realize that there's something very supernatural and uncomfortable about the waters of this riverway. It's almost as if the weight is pulling out of you, dropping like a weight, draining your life force. And in its stead, you feel this void, this hunger and thirst, powerful and welling inside of you, beginning to awaken, coming from almost nowhere.
The maximum hit point reduction work with temporary hit points? Does it? You still reduce your max, and then you just have less temporary. So the damage goes to temporary, but your max is still reduced,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
So what does this look like as the camera refocuses on our party moving across this long bridge and feeling absolutely terrible?
For Ihua, it almost feels like something biting you back as a carnivorous spirit, as a creature who has sharp teeth, who have something that can take life force as well. It's confusing.
I think for Oak, his ears droop more, even more. Because they have a little droop at the top, but as they walk, they kind of droop at the halfway point, and you can almost his normal, like ever present, like smile, like little grin or whatever, just sinks down, and his cheekbones almost seem to like fall a bit.
I think for Yoon, this feels like it feels like familiar presence, but not an invited one. And as this energy kind of like sucked from us or what have you, Yoon just looks around and you see like her fur kind of bristles and they kind of start like hunching in on themselves as they feel this presence.
I think Ajishi is familiar as well with this kind of feeling, but it's a feeling that he's put off multiple times. He put it off when he reached 50, he put it off when he reached 70. He kept putting it off, and it feels longer to him now. It feels like the lines in his face are pulling him even further to the ground. It feels like his bones not quite being as young as they used to, and his joints not as flexible or as lively as they once were. And he kind of just mutters to himself, I know, soon enough, I'm going. Oh, I can't go yet. And so he kind of just continues on.
Okay. As the group of you are moving, for all intents and purposes, Yujin will be part of the group. We just won't talk about what they're doing. We'll give them agency when they come back. But as you're moving along, the camera slowly pulls back and we see this long, dark body loping across the surface of the water, almost as if following the group. What is everyone's passive perception?
15.
23.
What?
14. 23! Amazing.
It's a 14 for
Oh
me.
my gosh. Okay, so describe to me, Ihwa, how or what this looks like as you notice that there's something in the water and it does seem like it's following after you, but just as you're about to say something, you notice something else as well. You notice that there is barely on the edge of perception a spirit or a ghost amidst your group, almost seeming to cross through you.
I already had my sort of fox ears out. I've only had one tail, but another one sort of grows as my facial features, my teeth kind of grow in my mouth and begin to elongate, ready for battle, ready for something. My nails already sharp, just sort of beginning to feel themselves in fists again, and I stop walking, and as like the little hairs on my shoulders underneath my clothes kind of like bristle, I tell my group, we have some company.
She's so cool when she says stuff like that.
Oak is gonna pat Lido's side. So you hear that? And pull out their rapier and shield. The coral shield that they got from the princess.
Okay. As the group of you are kind of beginning to bristle in arms here, Ihwa, you see that spirit, and it reaches out and almost seems to try to touch Yoon on the shoulder. Yoon doesn't seem to notice the spirit quite yet.
I'm gonna just like backhand it. Like I'm immediately just gonna reach forward and just like either push or see what happens when I touch
Okay.
it.
You see that almost as if waving away smoke, it disrupts where the hand was about to touch Yoon. It just breaks off and it reforms as the entity withdraws its hand. And the ghost looks to you, Ihua, and it says, "Hello. Where are you going? There is something unusual about you. It's not quite your time yet, is it?"
That seems like it's none of your business.
You are curious. There's death all around you, within you, but you are not dead.
You can leave us alone now. We'll be going.
You notice that the shape in the water is getting closer. And just to clarify, as Ihua is talking to the spirit and you all look, you can see the spirit.
Oh, I thought you were just trying to get a little close there. What's happening? Whether that ghost, was that you were talking to them?
I make it very kind of clear. My eyes beginning to slit as I am looking directly at this ghost. Is that creature gonna be a problem?
What creature? And as you say that, the being bursts out of the water and you see this long snake-like creature drop itself onto the bridge, and it thrusts its claw hand into the chest of the ghost and it begins to cast a spell.
No.
And as it's doing this at the same time, the ghost seems to be trying to reach for Yoon again. Almost desperately trying to grab Yoon.
Oak with the Ajushi on his mount is going to lift up to kind of like get a better view of what's going on. Not too far because, Ajushi is a cleric.
I can't see that far.
Maybe like 15
I put my
feet.
like arm around Yoon and just like attempt to step back.
Okay. Yeah, you easily disengage, and you can see that the creature is more interested in the ghost than any of you. Can I get a religion or nature check for anyone who wants to roll?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a little stupid.
17.
On the wrong one.
Wow, that's 3 8s.
Wow!
Yoon with a 15. Okay. Yoon, you know what this is. This is a guardian naga. You know that they are serpentine tormentors employed by the Narakwang of Choseong to test mortal souls. They essentially hunt down evil ghosts.
Oh.
You have been naughty, I'll tell the ghost. Just catching up with all this. And I'll just keep helping us all back up a little bit. Don't worry, I think we're fine. It's just testing the naughty ghosts over here. And we aren't any of those, so we should be fine.
I need art of Yoon as a tiny deer person going, "You have been naughty."
In the presence of this creature, we find a moment of reflection. There is something authoritative about it being here, it being an official entity employed by the Narakwang, one of judgment. And it casts its golden eyes on each of you. You see that this creature, its eyes bear into each one of you.
Maybe I was wrong.
I would like to know if anyone feels guilty about being a bad person.
Oh, absolutely, Ajashi does.
Let's just flavor this a little. Like, as the eyes lock to you, Ajashi, we have a little bit of a flashback. What is it? What moment does Ajashi think about?
It flashes back like 30 years ago. He's a lot younger. He's like in his late 50s, almost 60s, and he's running in the rain. And it's storming out, and branches are falling as he runs through the forest. And it's this tiny little foot like path that has since washed away, and he's slipping to get through. And he runs and he runs, and it feels like he's running forever. And finally, he slams the door open to a little like hanok that's like the traditional housing, and he slams the door open, and there's already a sheet covering his daughter, and he doesn't make it back in time. And he was clutching his then holy symbol that he was too busy, didn't realize how sick she was, and he had gone to go help somebody in need that he thought needed his help, and didn't realize how sick she was. And when he comes back, the sheet is already over her, and he then exchanges his like little symbol that he had been using to help people, and he exchanges it for the norige that she used to wear, and he just weeps. And that's what he flashes back to.
The eyes, almost uncaring, shift off of you to Ihwa. What do we see in Ihwa's mind eye palace thing?
100 or so years back, I am 6 or 7 years old, and I am hunched over my second oldest brother, and I am eating him. And my oldest brother looks in terror ahead of me. I have no thoughts. I am not thinking. My eyes, barely any human sclera. In my mouth, in my inside of my fingertips, is my second oldest brother. My oldest brother looks at me in terror. I do not look like his sibling. Do not look like anything natural that was born. And he asks me, why? Why did I kill our family? And I say, if I eat one more heart, I can become mortal like you. And then I forcibly shake myself out of that memory.
Though the weight of it might bear down on you, the guardian Naga seems unfazed. Ok, Yoon, do you feel guilty about being a bad person?
Oak definitely feels guilty about the way he lived most of his younger life with all of his partners, and maybe dismissing their feelings, you know what I mean? Like emotional hurt, I guess, that he is starting to realize that he's probably left in his wake. But that's nothing to him. It's getting pretty serious as he's learning more and understanding more and being more empathetic.
I think in this moment, as these thoughts are cycling through Ok's mind, you're locking eyes with this creature, and it's almost as if the air is sucked out of the room. Everything else begins to blur on the edge of your perception, and it's just you and this creature and your history. And I think it begins to well like a knot in your gut, just suddenly becoming aware of it, suddenly becoming aware of the ripples all around you, you thrashing in a pond of people's feelings and how they're treated. And it's startling. It's a type of clarity that shocks you. And it almost feels as if the air overwhelmingly sweeps back in, just flooding you as the eyes move away from you and to Yoon. Does Yoon feel like a guilty bad person?
Ooh. Yoon has a flashback to their first job, where they were, actually it would have been their second job. They had been transitioning over from the family business of dealing with unclean meat, and they took on a job as an executioner. And they flash back to this moment where someone is on the ground groveling, saying, "Please, no, this is all a mistake." And Yoon just kind of looked at them and said, "I'm sorry, but you've been deemed unclean." And she takes her finger, and you see it turns like a coalish black. And as they scrabble away from her, she touches them on the neck, and you see this blackness spread across them as they scream, and they start disintegrating and turn into this like long thread that connects back to Yoon's finger, and she sucks them up into it. Nothing left of them, and just and then it cuts to black.
And as you jolt back, realizing that you are here and now in the underworld, the Naga pulls back, and you see that its large hood begins to unfurl, almost casting a shadow over the group of you. You all get an overwhelming sense that this is a sign of aggression.
That the what is it?
Naga.
The Naga, yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, if you're gonna look at us like that, we probably will just. Yoon is gonna pull out their, I don't know what weapon they have, a hammer,
Gun.
and just look at the rest of the party. Time to learn a lesson.
How
Whatever we all
massive is
did.
this Naga? Like, how big is it? Like a medium, large?
It's a large
huge-
creature.
Cool.
So it's like horse-sized.
A horse.
Love this. Fear. I have fear. Yeah, and I'm Yoon's just gonna square up in case this gets nasty.
Okay. The creature begins to speak to all of you. I think it begins as like a series of hissing and elongated tones, but somehow you're able to understand it. The words, as you begin to absorb them, turn into speech that you can recognize, and it says, "I serve at the behest of the Narakwang. I am here to test mortal souls. I see you and what you've done. Just as a question, who has the writ that your Chosong Saja gave you? Okay. The Naga cants its head and looks at Yihua.
Can I help you?
I make no distinction between deceased or living. I am posing to challenge you.
Are we fighting?
By poetry or blood?
It seems curious. It cants its head again. I am open to either, but you must prove that you are worthy to pass.
Everyone?
I'm not very good at poetry, I have to be honest with you.
Neither am I. But I mean, I'd love to see it.
Oak is gonna go down to the bridge behind Ihua and Yoon and drop Ajishi off on the bridge.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
I'm gonna be getting too close. Ajishi, you have to stay safe.
What did you say?
Stay safe! Flies off to the side.
He's just like it's like he's squinting to see if he can like hear you better by squinting, and he's like, no. Come back and get me.
As the group of you are preparing to square up, you see that the ghost begins to fight back. And you see that it begins to violently lash out at the Naga. And the two of them become entwined in combat. I will treat this as y'all are not in combat unless you wish to engage. But essentially the two of them begin to fight. What do you do?
If we're here to make friends with the Narakwang, shouldn't we help with the ghost?
I don't know. Let him duke it out a bit. Maybe he's got it on his own.
Does
Yeah,
it look
I'm
pretty
inclined to
even?
just
Does
let
the
it
fight
happen.
look? Does the fight look pretty even? Or
No, it's not even.
It looks bad.
Is the Naga just tearing up the
Yeah.
ghost? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, get in there, sport. Fight him.
Ajishi says.
No, oh, wait,
oh.
I'm joking. Don't do it. And what if he thinks
It's
you're a
like,
bad
okay.
guy?
The
You get
flower's use is
confused.
restricted to the Narakwang. This is a creature employed by, not necessarily. I kind of want eel for dinner, and then I just start heading towards it.
Okay.
Oh, what a fancy lady.
All right.
That
so
is a
cool.
cue.
She's so cool when she says stuff like that.
She really is.
This is going to be a reoccurring line. I love it.
He has like the little like idol light up glow sticks, but it's for Ihua. Instead, it's like a little cartoon fox head on the top, and he's like, Ihua, Ihua. He made it himself, though. It's like a little paper lantern version.
All right. We're going to start combat here. Even if you're not going to take an aggressive action, I'd like you to still roll. So let's get some initiative going.
I'm throwing this die
Yay.
away. I'm swapping it out.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Throw it away.
You with a 6. Oak with a 16.
That's a 23 for me.
Whoa.
Damn.
Amazing.
Okay, Ihua,
Heck.
23. The Naga has 15. The Ghost has...
If it's about fighting, I can do it. If it's about any knowledge,
Me, when it doesn't count and it's just good RP, yeah. When it comes to anything important, no.
no.
Ghost is 7.
Josephine knows though. Like they literally had to help me. I was like, please help me, come get me. I'm gonna die. In our previous campaign, it was like, help me.
All right, who am I missing? Oh. Ajushi.
Oh, it me. I put it
Yes,
in the
thank
chat.
you.
Can you see it?
Okay,
Okay.
so top of the order here, Ihua. You see that the two of them are engaged. We'll say that they are 20 feet away from you.
Okay, excellent. I'm going to immediately, I think from within like a sleeve of mine, I pull out a dagger that almost takes on, it is a very skinny sort of dagger. It takes on a strange, almost not weapon-like quality, maybe almost even medical. And this is my swarm smiting needle. Although this isn't a swarm, I would like to impart onto the Naga what I am about. So for my first action, I'm going to whip this dagger towards it. And as the dagger starts soaring through, it starts to multiply into almost 1,000 more mosquitoes
It's terrifying.
with knife-like proboscises or whatever the fuck they have.
Yes.
So I'm gonna hit for that. Okay, that's gonna be a 24 to hit.
That hits. Armor class is 18.
Excellent. That's gonna be 18 points of damage already, piercing specifically. It forms within a 30-foot cone. So does that also hit the other ghost?
Yes, because they are in
Okay.
entanglement. That will also hit the
Okay.
ghost. The ghost is AC 11.
Word. The both of them pissed me off, so I'm definitely down for both of them.
All right. Yeah, you see that this almost eviscerates the ghost. The ghost is barely
Good.
there now. And it seems to, you see the mosquitoes begin to pierce into the Naga, and it begins to bleed profusely, but it doesn't seem to slow it down. And you are still about like
Figured.
20 feet away.
Yeah, I am going to... Yeah, I'll take my movement. I'm gonna move 25 feet over, or rather, the 20 feet. My speed is 50, so it's not a problem for me. I don't... Is there any sort of check I can see? Like, they're on the ground. They're like not swimming around or anything. There's no particular difficulty.
So the bridge itself, it has this sort of like heavy quality, like the weight of you, it makes it kind of difficult to move here. So it will treat, no, the water has difficult terrain. No, you're fine. You're not in the water.
Okay,
Yeah.
word. I'm going to attempt to bite the Naga.
Yum yum.
That is going to be an 18.
Okay, that hits.
So I just like start sprinting over, and almost as if I was actually very serious about having eel for dinner. I just sort of like, as soon as I hit it, I want to sink my nails into it and then also my teeth as they grow in my mouth. And I have a little something fun called Carnivorous Curse. So I'm going to roll for my damage, gain hit points equal to the piercing damage that I deal, and the Naga will have disadvantage on its next attack roll against me.
All right.
So for my
That is savage.
horrible teeth, that will be 5 points of piercing, and I get 5 points back. And I will end my turn by looking up and sort of saying, "That's for taking something from me." And that's it.
All right. As you crunch down on the naga with your mouth, it tastes absolutely vile. There's an acidic quality to the taste of the skin, the scales, the meat, and we'll say that you take a big chunk out of its hood here. Okay. Next is Oak.
Oak is in the air on his flying mount. He is going to... Lidl is going to do 1,000 re-rush as the winged companion ability. You can double your movement speed and move without taking opportunity attacks. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you take a short rest. To move onto the other side of the Naga to gain a flanking position with the Iwa. And then... Should I have this all planned out and now I don't remember anything. And then that was the Winged Companion's action, which goes on my initiative. As my bonus action, I would like to use my Art of the Monster Slayer ability, Discerning Eye. Where is it? Discerning Eye. At 5th level, your depth of experience has given you the ability to read other people's strengths and weaknesses. Select a creature that is within 60 feet of you. If you spend a minute, well, if you use that as a bonus action in combat, you can use this as a bonus action. I can learn whether their hit points are higher than mine, their damage resistances and vulnerabilities, and their saving throw proficiencies.
Okay. What's your hit points?
54
okay.
right now.
It's definitely more than your hit points.
Yeah.
For weaknesses, it doesn't have any.
Okay.
And you get immunities?
I get damage resistances and vulnerabilities and their saving throw proficiencies.
Okay. Their saving throw proficiencies are all of them? They're pretty high across the board.
Okay.
Essentially, you get the sense that it can't be poisoned. And I'm just going to give this to you, and you get the sense that it can't be charmed either.
Okay. And then for my action, I'm going to attack. And when I use the 1,000 re-rush, after 7th level, you get your companion gets your mount gets a bonus ability, like it improves. So when the winged companion uses its 1,000 re-rush feature, you can make your next attack roll with advantage.
Ooh, okay.
So I will make my attack with my rapier with advantage. Well, the 19 is on the highest die, plus 8, so 27 to
Okay,
hit.
yep, that hits. Roll again just to see if you get a crit.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I rolled 2 at a time.
Okay.
And then it's just 1d8 plus 5. Oh, God. 9 damage. Yeah.
Hey, that's
Oh, wait.
good.
What did I didn't use a stratagem. Okay. I'm good.
Okay. So what does your rapier look like?
It's just like a very basic. It's not very. Maybe it's a little like shined up a little bit, you know, from nights spent with somebody who was like, "I'm gonna shine his sword," and not in that way. That came out of my mouth, and I was like, "Wait a second, no."
Mm-hmm.
Or
You know, just a sword
your
enthusiast.
imagination.
It's fine.
It's just it has like a braided pommel? No,
Guard?
pommel, hilt. Guard, yeah,
Mhm.
hand guard. Yeah.
Awesome. Very nice. Okay. So you do have a lot of movement here, and you don't get attack of opportunity with the winged creature, right? So where do you want to end up? Because basically you could...
On the very opposite of the Naga from Iwa to, I mean, I guess I would have gotten advantage anyway. But in any case, just on the very opposite side of Iwa so that we're flanking for...
Okay. Do you want to
tactics, I
be within melee range? Okay.
Yes,
Gotcha.
100%.
Cool.
Actually... Oh. Shit.
Because you could technically end it out of melee range.
No, I want to stay in melee. I'm just... Hold on. Let me read this really quick. I have the Sentinel feat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm good. I want to stay where I am.
Sounds great. Ajashi, it's your turn.
Yes, it is, isn't it? He's like, wait, come back and oh, he's gone now. Okay. And so he kind of just goes and combs over his like three hairs that he has on the top of his head. And you see him gently grasp the norige that hangs on his side. And as he lets it slip from his hand, it slips out and magic actually forms out from underneath it. And it looks like it's lengthening the norige string into his hand. And as it does, it turns into like a very long ladle, and he flips it and it starts to spiral in his hand like a baton. And when he does that, he cracks it into the sky and it just sets out this huge gong noise. And he is going to cast Toll the Dead. I need because the ghosty guy is like not necessarily our problem per se right now because he's getting beat up.
Yes.
Ish? Okay, we're gonna say
he's a shade of his former self, if you know what I mean.
Okay, he's like, it'll probably be fine. And so the Naga has taken damage though. Okay, so I'm gonna need him to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
I can do that.
Yeah.
1d20 plus 8.
Oh.
That hurts. That's an 18.
Oh god. Oh no, he beats my whatchamacallit. So nothing happens, but it makes a really cool loud noise.
Yeah, as this gong sound echoes through the area, the Naga's eyes whip over to you, Ajashi, and he says, I am familiar with the sound of death. You would do well to withdraw your arms.
And he just has his ladle up in the air, so he goes, I'm probably not going to, though.
I am here to seek judgment over evil creatures. You must be among them.
What did you say? Could you say it a little louder? And then he's gonna start running.
Are you running towards or away?
Probably not away or toward. He just kind of wants to run the lateral line behind it, like I'm running down the side.
Gotcha.
Like, so he's not like the first and foremost thing that the Naga maybe sees. He's not gonna be so cruel as to walk behind Oak per se, but he's like, oh, I gotta run behind someone else.
Fantastic. All right. It is now the Naga's turn. The Naga will... Let's see. Bite you back. It whips its head towards Ihua, and its jaw unhinges. It goes... And you see these long, knife-like teeth as it strikes out with lightning speed. Why am I rolling the damage? I gotta see if I can hit first. Damn.
I would like to use my reaction as I have a protection fighting style, and I'd like to use my reaction to give the Naga disadvantage for attacking a creature other than me that's within 5 feet.
It already has.
It does.
Okay, then I'm not using my reaction to do that.
Good.
No worries.
All right. It rolled a 10 against Ihua. Nope. So what does it look like as you deflect this?
As it bares its teeth back at me and attempts to get me back, I think literally it's just like an incredibly, like one of those backflips that, however, it just feels like you're able to see every sort of boat in action happen as I go back. It's graceful, but it's fast.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Now I would like to use my sentinel reaction to attack.
Yes, do it.
Now that, which is at advantage because I'm flanking with Ihua. Right? If we're using,
we are not
rules?
using flanking rules.
Okay, then I'll just attack. I rolled the wrong die, but it works out 20 to hit.
Yeah, hits.
I don't know why I keep putting my dice away. 7 plus like 12 damage.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot of damage. All right. Yeah, so you see, like, it kind of overextends itself as it tries to bite towards Ihua. Ihua retreats just a little bit, and it creates an opening for you, Ulk. You slash forward and you strike true as you pull your weapon back. Stream of blood, black ichor spews across the boards of this bridge. Anything? Oh, it's the Naga's turn. JK. The Naga's turn is over. The ghost you see begins to almost turn into a whisper as it flickers in and out of vision. It seems to be trying to run away now, as it will try to disengage, and you see it disappear and reappear about 10 feet away. Yoon, it is your turn.
Yeah, just checking really fast. Nobody has any conditions on them?
No.
I think? Okay, cool. So, what Yoon is going to do is going to use the Heavenly Guardian feature. At second level, you can call forth your guardian spirit to use your body as an arbiter for divine protection. As an action, you can expend one use of your wild shape feature and enter into a half-conscious trance. Your features change matching the appearance of the guardian spirit you're channeling. And our guardian spirit that we're channeling is a black bear, because we are the Black Bear Clan Mudang. So, Yoon is going to, like, their ears are going to, like, perk up and then, like, almost, like, shrink into themselves a little bit. Their brow becomes a little bolder, and their snarl becomes a little wider as their teeth sharpen into, like, the mouth of a bear. And their fur darkens a little bit, and we're going to gain some temporary hit points for each druid level. And once per turn, when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, the next attack against them before the end of your next turn has advantage. So we're going to try to, I guess that is an action to do this. But let's see, bonus actions, see if I have any bonus actions. Why don't I get up behind Ihua? And I'm going to just, be there for a little bit of moral support at first. But hopefully get to do some other things if combat's still running by the next turn. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it.
Important question. As you are bear, are you standing up on your hind, or are you, like, on fours?
Yeah, I think it's like a weird little kind of mishmash of Yoon's features and a bear's, because it's more like your features change and you get that appearance. So it's kind of like a werebear kind of thing we got going on here. So yeah, they're standing up on their hind legs and just like getting ready to do something, hopefully.
Okay, I love it. All right, back at the top of the order, Ihua, it is your turn.
Incredible. All right. I am going to start with my bonus action. I'm going to use a key point to shift into my first steps into generative flow, which is one of the incredible way of the dosa stances. So the 5 agents flow in 2 eternal circles, one of generation and one of strife. A spiritual monk finds their balance in these flows, then steps into the stream where they will make themselves a part of it. So I'm going to start in metal.
Okay.
So what metal gives me is expertise in the associated skills. So I have now expertise in persuasion and insight.
That is so cool. What the hell?
I can use the help action as a bonus action. I can use my reaction to impose disadvantage on a creature I can perceive within 30 feet if it is making a check with a skill of the element my current element overcomes. And I will let you know. And when I use Flurry of Blows, my attacks also do a 1d6 damage of the associated metal element, which is slashing and piercing. So what that looks like is very much I think almost like a third tail comes out as I just like very much like Taekwondo stance, like slam my foot down. And I am going to start going at it with some I'm gonna go at it with 4 unarmed strikes.
Okay.
So let's fucking. All right. So that is 26 to hit, 25 to hit, 22 to hit, and a 16 to hit.
Okay. The first 3 hit. The last one does not.
Word. Alrighty. Oh, Jesus. There's so many things. Goodbye, dice.
Bye. Annyeong.
So. That's going to be 24 points of bludgeoning damage. And I'm going to use another key point to flurry of blows and do 2 more.
Yeah.
Hits. Both of those hit. And I'm going to do 6 points more of damage, and 3 of those is, we'll say, piercing.
All right. So as we see, you take on this powerful stance and deliver these powerful blows. The scales of this creature seem to buckle, not being able to withstand your blows. You can see bruising immediately beginning to form beneath tender flesh, and it cowers away from you, its eyes wide, its mouth agape, as it diminishes, beginning to lower itself down and taking on a more defensive demeanor here. Anything else for you?
No, that's
Wow. Oak, it's your turn.
Yeah.
Oak, seeing the posture change in this Naga, kind of like, I don't know, passing it through his little brain. It's gonna kind of like fly up a little bit, not out of like the attack area or anything like that. He's gonna brandish his sword and ask, have we passed the test?
As you take this moment to address it, its head snaps up to look at you and it says, "Very well. Cease thy attacks. I let you pass for now. I concede."
Oak's just gonna give a nod and fly over to Ajashi.
What did they say?
We're done. We passed the
can
test,
see?
Ajashi. Ajashi, we passed the test. Come on, let's get back on.
Okay. So the Naga will retreat here, and you will see that it begins to try to back away and slip back into the water. Does anyone want to do anything, or do you want to allow it to?
I guess we're not so bad, are we?
No, that's the lesson, is just don't mess with Ihwa and Oak.
That's what I'm saying. Don't talk about my grandkids like that. They're good people. He's like got his little ladle that he's like waving around, and then eventually he just lets it poof into the air. I'm so proud of you kids.
With nary a sound, the Naga slips away and disappears into the water below. Dark and murky. The ghost hovers nearby. It looms there, barely a pinch of light. And it just watches you for a moment, and then it bows from the hips.
She's like, you want some of this? You want some of this? Because Iwa will give it to you.
Ajashi, get on Lidl.
I'm trying to tell them how good we are. Oh, wait, look at what Iwa did. You should watch your elders because you can learn so much from them. Probably don't bite anyone though. That's probably bad for you specifically.
I'm not a biter until if people ask.
And you know what? Consent is important. Oak, you're a good boy. And he just kind of crawls up on.
As you do, you see that from bowing at the hips, the ghost begins to lower down, knees touching the bridge, hands down, and the forehead touches to the ground as well. And this position of reverence and deepest respect given to you, the ghost begins to fade away. And as it does, you see that in its wake, it seems to leave behind 8 pieces of blue gold.
Oak, swing. Oak, darling, swing down there.
All
Swing down there and get those things. The
Swing
blue ones.
down. I'll lean off of my
Yeah, my
legs,
back's
wrap
not too-
around the thing, and I
He's
lean
like
down,
holding
I
your
pick 'em
pants.
up, and I give them to Ajishi.
Ooh. He bites them.
As you try to bite it, you actually bite through it, and it's almost as if it's not there. And your teeth kind of crunch for a minute. It's uncomfortable.
This is fake. Fake, I tell you. Man, I'll keep it anyways.
Anyone who beholds this, if you happen to look in the bag that was given to you by your Chosong Saja, I don't think anyone did.
No, we just took it and was like, thank
Okay,
you.
never mind.
I'm gonna put this in a bag.
It might
yeah,
be
there's-
currency that we can use, maybe.
Anyone have a bag that we received? I don't have. My pockets have holes in them.
You can just put it in this saddlebag here.
Okay. 1 and 2. Like, he's so annoying. He's just counting them as he put it. Hana. 2.
I love it. You cross the bridge.
Cross
Thank-
the bridge.
You see that a split in the riverway up ahead leads to a small island at the center of rushing waters. An enticing aroma of roast meat and fried noodles and vegetables lures you towards its direction. The source of the smell appears to be a food stand with tables set in front of a shared table with a portable kitchen and hearth set up at the center for convenience of service. You see that there are chilled soju bottles that accompany the myriad of culinary delights. At the side of the table, you see a wooden bowl with shimmering gold-blue coins inside.
And I just happen to have some shimmering blue coins.
We don't even know how much each one of those is worth. I mean, a good bottle of soju would be 5 silvers. So
Behold, art!
You're... oh, art! Ooh.
Are these people there? at the
no.
moment, Or
They
Okay.
just make the picture pretty.
Beautiful. They do make the picture pretty. This art's so
Is it?
beautiful.
I love the rib cage and the
If
water.
you want to look at this art
Oh, yeah.
whenever you want, you can use !Undying in the chat and check out the Kickstarter. Wink.
That's so cool. Yeah, she's like, listen, Oak, sometimes you have to go by the honest. Listen, Hearth domains like myself, where you can find them at the in the Paradise in Bloom section of the Undying Corruption supplement, just so you know. Very important. Food is very important, and so I think that maybe we have a little tiny snack. Dead people love food.
I need a drink.
I'm hungry.
All right, I have blue coins for everyone, and he hands them Hana. 2. He just starts handing them out to people. They don't bite them though; they disappear. I'm sure that means they're good. 안녕하세요.
감사합니다.
Like, hello.
As you call
He's
out,
just
you
like,
don't hear anything.
저기요.
Oak's just gonna walk up and toss a coin into the bowl of
Mhm.
coins and grab a bottle of soju.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll follow along.
I'm doing the same thing, except for he's probably grabbing food, like whatever is really hot and crispy and crunchy, like that you're not supposed to eat at his age. He's like,
Okay.
Stella's like, why, God?
Ihua would like to check the food.
Okay, fantastic. Roll me perception.
Nothing bad ever happened to the Mudangs. Ah.
Where have you been working? Dirty 20.
Okay.
Oh wow.
You notice that the coins, you count the number of coins for some reason, and it seems to be specifically dividable by 3. What's the number? 18. There's 18 coins in there. And then 3 more, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yep.
So a total of 21?
Yep.
Or okay.
Are you concerned about food? Because I can cast a little spell over it.
Yeah. Let's ensure we're not going to get unnecessarily poisoned.
Meanwhile,
Ajashi has already like piled a bunch of stuff in his mouth. I was like, oh, this is good.
the soju's good too. It's nice and cold.
Okay.
Some samjang.
Anyone who's eating anything, I need a wisdom saving throw from you.
Oh no.
At
Ooh, okay, I can help
disadvantage.
with this, maybe.
Disadvantage. Wait, do I have anything to save me from this?
You said
Yes.
wisdom? Alright, I got a 16.
Okay.
I have nothing to save me, so I'm gonna just go at
Yes.
disadvantage. Crap. Oh no. Oh, I actually didn't do too bad. That's a 19.
If anyone fails, I can do a little thing.
Ooh.
Yoon, did you eat or drink anything?
Did you? I did not.
Okay.
Not yet.
They have not failed. They both succeeded.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as the two of you are beginning to enjoy the food and drink, you realize after a moment that you're kind of just hogging it down. That you're consuming
no, not
this
the worst.
with a voraciousness that you definitely didn't start with. Oak, you kind of
Flashback
like
to
look
Doc.
and you realize like you've crushed 5 bottles of soju.
I'm feeling spirited away, you know, by this food.
Whatever could you mean, huh?
That happened.
But you both kind of shake out of it and you realize that, oh, you've actually eaten a lot more than you realized.
I'll look at Ihua and be like, they ate so much food so fast.
This feels normal. I don't know. I think
Oh
it's
my
fine.
god, I can't eat another John.
It's-
Well,
it's-
maybe I could.
That's not normal.
You know, once you start, you just can't stop. It's just
Oh, what do you call shocking alcohol? A surprise! And he starts eating more food.
Oh, it's a good one, Ajashi.
Sir means alcohol to people who don't speak Korean. I made a pun. You can't get away
It's a
from
good
it.
pun.
Let's pack it up.
Alright, I guess.
I mean, I
Maybe
feel
that's-
great.
I feel awesome.
You guys don't want any? I got more coins if you feel concerned.
I'm gonna grab one more bottle and put it in my
Okay.
bag.
Ihua, with that dirty 20, as the group of you are kind of looking around, sorry, as the group of you are beginning to like pack up, Ihua, you notice that something's approaching. You see coming from 3 different directions, movement. Snake-like creatures slithering out from underneath the table, underneath bowls. And they seem to be targeting Ok and Ajashi. But before you can say anything, we're going to take a quick break.
How dare you?
So please join us in doing a little stretch, grabbing a snack. You have to roll a DC 16 wisdom saving throw if you grab a snack. We'll
Pass that then.
I just
yeah,
made
you
it.
just made
Yeah,
it.
I did.
We'll be back in 5 minutes. We're back! Ihua, as Ajashi and Ok are almost literally glowing from imbibing in these strange, otherworldly treats, you're looking around. They're beginning to pack up, but you notice something. Snakes. Almost like slivers of shadow appearing out of nowhere, and they begin to make their way towards Ajashi and Ok. What do you do?
The two of you, your consequences for your actions are coming through, so just so you know. And I like kind of point down to the
Oh, that's
bowls.
what she's saying
Oh.
to them. I thought this was Josephine talking to me
Yeah.
and Carrie, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I'm ready." I think,
Shit.
yeah, you just see Ajashi go, huh? And he's got like all this like sauce and stuff on his face because he's just really doing it to him as he's getting out. Like, huh? And he goes, "Ugh," and just kind of like retracts back, and goes, get it, Oak, get it."
Oak immediately goes to where Ajashi is and tries to stomp on some snakes, like anything, the closest.
Okay, you see the equivalent of 3 swarms of poisonous snakes are beginning to manifest.
Like a lot of snakes, not just like.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So I
that changes my
think like Oak,
reaction.
you're like stomping out a few of them, right? And then you look
Yeah.
up, and the floor is snakes now, as it's like sliding
Oh,
towards the group of
no.
you.
Ajashi goes, "Oh god, there was more snakes than I thought."
And Oak's gonna call Little and mount up, but also try to use his momentum to pull Ajashi onto the back.
Okay.
of
Yeah,
Little at
as
the
you're
same
doing
time.
that, Ihua, something else with that dirty 20 catches your perception, and you turn and you see from the water these large hands begin to pull out of the water, and you see something appear. Art.
Art appears.
Oh, no.
fancy. Oh, the rib cage. Whoever
I
said
don't even
that
know
in the
what to say
first
about
one,
that.
they were like,
Peter
"Notice the
hands."
rib cage."
No, they have 4. Okay.
It's amazing.
Ihua, you hear a coming from this creature as it begins to pull up out of the water. It looks undead. It looks wrong. And its head is turned towards Ajashi and Oak. And you can see that its fingers are weaving in some sort of way, and it seems to be directed towards the snakes. There's a connection here somehow.
Do the two of you need any help, or is this something?
I think
Do you think
as
you could handle this?
as you hear that, you hear, "Get back!" And he like claps his hands, and as he claps his hands, a string of light snaps off from his norige into his hand, and he goes, "Go, shoo, get out of here!" And he's going to cast guiding
Okay.
bolt. And
At?
guiding bolt only like the snakes.
Okay.
Because I don't think, in my mind, he has not noticed this creature yet. He's still focused, as always with Ajashi, he is focused on the wrong thing. So he goes, get out of here, go, shoo! And he casts Guiding Bolt on the snakes.
Yep. At the snake floor.
Yeah, because he's an old man who can't
No, I'm not disagreeing with you.
No, he's just the worst. Oh.
I think Ihua, then like looks at Oak and is just like pointing at the ribcage eye monster and just like, you need any help with that?
Narratively, this really fits. He got a 1.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Okay, I think
yeah.
what happens here is your spell works fine, but you hit a snake and it dies, and the spell doesn't really do anything.
He goes, got it in one.
Oak's going to turn Little around and yep, I got it. Ajashi, and we're gonna go towards.
I got
the
it. You
big
heard me?
thing.
So
attack
it calls out to the group of you as you begin to notice it. Can I? Anyone who looks at it can roll me a religion or history, religion, history, or nature check.
I
I'm
feel like
bad
it's
at everything.
at this point he would have looked over to be like, I got it. Oh no.
Oh!
What? That's a
oh.
20 for Yoon.
Oh, that's pretty
13
good.
for Oak. 12 for a Iha. Dirty 20 for Ajashi.
Would this... Could we argue Arcana at all, or is this very specific?
You could do Arcana.
Okay, that's a 15
Okay, cool.
Arcana.
So Yoon and Ajashi, for some reason, you know that what this is by beholding it. It is a shigingui. Yeah,
Shigingui?
shigingui. I have like the Korean writing and everything here. Hold on. How do I? Oops. Yeah, the Koreans in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Shigingui, yeah. So you realize this is a shigingui, which is a type of ghoul with animalistic instincts. As it calls out to you with speech, you realize that it is awakened. And it says, you are eating food that doesn't belong to you.
Mm.
We paid for it. We paid for it. There was no sign. You should put a sign up.
When someone puts food at an altar, Ajashi, does that mean it's free? It's up for grabs?
Listen,
Is that what it's?
well,
You know,
we've been over this. I'm a scavenger. You're a scavenger. It didn't look like an altar, okay? It's not like I didn't need to.
we're in. Where are we? Where do you think we are? This entire place.
Well, right now I'm in hell. Right now.
Accurate.
It holds up 3 fingers, and you see these long, cracked, tan fingernails. They're so
They're
gross. And it
gross.
says 3 coins each.
I gave this. Oh, we underpaid.
One paid
Oh,
for
let
one
that be a
person.
lesson to you. We underpaid.
So we gotta put 4 more coins in there? Wait, 5?
We
We-
put 3 in, I
we
think.
put
but
3.
we scored 3.
So we need to put 3 more. And I have 3 coins, right?
Yeah. You have 8 total.
Yeah. Okay, I thought so. He fishes out 3. Like, I forgot that we don't tip in Korea. I don't know what this is. Just
Little extra
Gently.
for your trouble.
goes to put it out. Here you go. Your 3 coins, sir.
He points at the bowl.
Oh, you're right. That's my
I'll
fault.
fly
That's
over to
my
the
bad.
bowl.
He gets halfway down, Lidl, and
No,
before
no,
Uk has
Sam,
like
go,
jumped
go.
down. Oh no. Okay, back up I go.
You hear like a series of just noises, and it says something about gluttony, and it begins to sink down in the water, and the snakes begin to recede.
They should really have a menu board or something to tell us how much to pay. I didn't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you for putting the money in the bowl, Oak. You're a nice boy.
Of course, absolutely any time.
I look at you and like,
Yoon kind of shrinks because they were about to like eat stuff too.
This is a good lesson for you grandkids. She was wrong. I didn't pay appropriately, and it was very right of that ghoul to be upset with me because I stole initially, not knowing, but let that be a lesson to you.
I mean, it's the effort and intent that counts, right? Like, so we put the coins in.
We did. We tried
didn't
our
know
best.
how much it was. There's no, like you said, there's no sign. We did our
just-
best.
Shows
But-
you sometimes intention's not enough.
That's true.
And he
but-
just pats your
That's it.
face.
As you're like packing up,
That's
you
true.
see that there are 4 blue coins by a register, and there's utensils that are shiny.
But now I have the urge to steal.
Ajashi!
Yajishi, you just told us not to do that.
You're right. Sometimes I just get the itch to feel alive.
Something twinkles. It's a kitchen knife.
Oh God, it's my what is it? My Achilles heel. We have him in this world, right?
Can I grab Ajashi like under my arm and just start walking away?
Yeah, I mean, at first he's like wiggling his like, Ewa, you know I can't resist. And then finally after like 2 seconds he goes, oh, I'm tired. And then he just like lays limply in your arms to let you like carry him away.
Fantastic. The group carries on. As you begin to push forward, you approach a passageway which extends to the full body of this Hamdo River. Over 1,000 souls are caught in this maelstrom, and they wail out as they push against the unforgiving currents. To lose one's footing and be swept away by the river will mire a soul in its depths for years on and on. As you see that this Hamdo River here moves beyond the scale of which you can see, you see that for miles and miles it stretches out. As you're moving, you see more of those wooden guardians, those Goktu totems. They have an energy of comfort around them. You know that they are protective constructs. And this particular one that you behold is of the entertainer class. You can see what appears to be a statue of someone carved of wood, and they appear to be a folk dancer. You see a wide-brimmed hat, a long, feathery tail coming out of the top of the hat. They seem to be holding a drum.
How many hours have we been? Does it feel like we've been traveling?
It's impossible to tell. A very long time.
Yeah. I feel like can we just stop here and take a break? I'm feeling a little hungover.
Yes,
I
it'd
just
be a
need
great
a minute
place.
to snack.
Yeah.
And rest.
You sidle up.
Did we
Huh?
see that there's like a dancer? Like we see that there's dancing. or
There's like
whatever?
a wooden totem of a dancer in mid-dance. And it has this sort of calm and forgiving air around it.
Okay. I definitely was like, is this the red light district? Is that why we're stopping here?
It seems like a good place to take a rest stop in the shadow of a protective totem.
Yeah.
I think Ajashi just kind of nods and he looks at the dancer for a while and he gets just kind of quiet after he's had his fun little ruckus that he just had, and he just kind of nods to himself and he pulls out from his sleeve a what is that called? A stick of incense, and he lights it and he lets it go out on its own. And he just holds it and prays for a little bit. And that's kind of just what he does quietly.
sit, and Lido will curl up behind him to give him a little back rest. And he sits with his, his feet up and his knees are up and his little rabbit feet are out, wiggling his toes, snacking while kind of watching Ajishi pray. It's always nice to be in the presence of elders because it always makes him feel comforted, and he doesn't, when he sees an elderly person, he doesn't necessarily feel like he has to perform, if that makes sense.
I think Yoon's gonna just kind of like circle up and then curl up in a little ball, kind of close to everybody, but then they kind of scoot a little bit closer when no one's looking, just kind of cozy on up into like a little cuddle puddle.
I'm gonna pet Yoon, like kind of near the ears.
Yoon instantly is just like, oh, it just leans into it.
We can take the effects of a short rest here. As the group of you are sitting here resting, you can see all around you just this tempest of a river. Occasionally you see the faintest outline of a spirit trying to reach out, struggling against the unforgiving current. And every once in a while, they get kind of close. They almost seem to try to be reaching for you. Always, the hands are always outstretched towards you. But they don't seem to be able to penetrate this pocket of safety created by these totems. And towards the end of your rest here, you see that 3 ghosts clamber up and seem to be rushing in the direction that you had come from. One of them literally just passes through your companion, Ok. Another one passes through Yoon. And another one passes through Ajishi. And for the moment that they pass through you, a chill runs up your spine. And you realize, being Mudang, you've definitely been in the presence of spirits, and you realize when spirits are trying to grab or reach for something that does not belong to them. You realize that the spirits are trying to possess you. Can the two of you tell me what it looks like as you repel them and reject them from possessing you?
Which two of us are
Yeah, I was gonna say
repelling
which
them?
two. I think she feels it because in my mind what he was doing during this little short rest, because if it's okay, GM, I was going to use one of my little cleric things from
Yeah, tell me
Undying
all about
Corruption.
it.
Yeah, so he's gonna use the oh my goodness, I just lost it. It is called Meal of a Lifetime. And so I'm kind of flavoring this as he has his incense stick and he's praying, and eventually he just kind of, like we've talked about, he has like just kind of food all like in his items and bags. So he kind of makes a little altar for this totem that's keeping them safe. And so he sticks the incense in, and he has like a Korean pear and, just little like candies that it's nothing crazy, but he sets it up. And then after he's done praying, even though it is an expeditious version of this, he ends up cutting up the fruit and handing them out to everybody, and you would all get 11 temporary hit points again. Those don't stack onto the previous ones, but I would just like us to all go into whatever we go into with a higher hit points. And as he kind of divvies out the food, he feels it wash over him, like being just poured over in a rainstorm all of a sudden. And he closes his eyes, and in the past, he might have acted more violently or scared or tried to repel it as quickly as possible, but he just lets it rest over him for a second. And he says, I'm sorry, I can't give you more than this. And as he does that, he pulls out from him, like pulling threads out of a sweater, and he continues to wrap them and ball them up into kind of like how you wind yarn around your hand. And he holds it and then finally cups it and then pulls it off and lets it out into the ether.
There's a forlorn feeling as you feel the weight of it. You can't touch the ghost, but you have the weight of something, and you just know that it's important. This is a person. This is a life of memory, of pain. And as you let them go gently here, there's something sad in the departure. As they float away from you, their hand remains outstretched, and then they disappear. Yoon, what does it look like as you repel a possession?
Oh, well, I was gonna ask if I could just sense what it was wanting.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah. You would definitely get
worries.
the sense that this possession was almost accidental. It seems that the three spirits that had clambered up, they were just rushing through the area recklessly. And the spirit that passed through Oak's companion just went on through. You see Ajashi beginning to, because it's happening at the same time, Ajashi begins to pull the spirit out of him. But you collide with this other entity, this intangible being just washing through you and trying to latch on. But it's accidental. You know this.
Okay, yeah, so as this spirit kind of passes through, you see the Yoon's eyes just poof. You see like the kind of milky white eyes that they sometimes have when they're channeling a spirit, and they kind of jerk a little bit and cough it out as you see just like this black smoke kind of wisp away, and oh yeah, kind of just thump their chest like they burped a little bit.
I love it. For some reason, they come out as a wet splat, I think. And they clamber and push out of the area surrounding the Koktu, and it begins to disappear as it heads in the direction of the food stand that y'all had just come from.
I'll just wipe my mouth a little
Ok
bit.
and Ihwa, you witness this happen to both of your party mates.
Oh, you're muted, Carrie. Or we can't hear you.
Speak up.
What are you saying, boy?
There you go.
Am I? Why
Okay,
am
now
I
you're back.
muted? Oh,
Now
shit.
you're back. Now you're back.
When I start screaming. that's what it
screaming.
is. I think I was just talking really quietly, and Zoom was like, "Nope, we're not gonna."
You
transmit
have
that.
to
That's
shout
fine."
over the maelstrom of spirits.
Sorry, I was too busy being possessed. What'd you say?
Are you both okay? You seem okay.
Oh, yeah. You know, I'm just so used to spirits passing through. That one kind of clung on a little bit.
I look at Oak, where our body is just so undesirable to these ghosts.
I mean, I think I'm protected right now, but so I think they would have just bumped into me like a pane of glass.
Hey, you know me, 89 and thriving.
Yeah, it was more of an accident anyways. They weren't really trying to.
Say what you want, Yoon. I know my worth. He flops his 3 hairs.
Love it.
Honestly, surprised all 3 didn't try to go through you.
And I'm surprised myself.
Sure, you would have been really
What?
tasty.
And Ajashi at that point kind of just goes, "Here, eat your pear." Kind of just like
Ugh.
shoves,
Hair.
and kind of will just take in a deep breath, and as he exhales, kind of just smooth down his clothes and kind of shudders a little bit. And if we do keep walking, he's going to kind of hang back a little bit to be with Iwa.
Okay. Yeah, we see a scene here, a fade to black, as everyone begins to pack up their belongings. And we continue forward, seeking the flower fields of Sochon. And the camera hovers back, towards the back, where Ihwa and Ajishi walk in stride.
I think if Iwa will let him, will kind of just gently take her arm, very like hook it and like kind of hold on to it. Iwa, it's not as easy as it used to be.
What do you mean?
Oh, come on now. It's been years.
Being possessed? Being a Mudang?
Being old, dear.
I guess I've been used to it. I'm not so sure about you.
You get tired of it?
Yeah. The more control you have over your body and your own skills does not necessarily mean that you gain more energy.
Well, it's been so long since we've been friends. I just thought it'd be nice if we took another stroll like old times.
I guess no matter how old you get, if someone started sentimental, then they'll stay that way.
Well, what can you do? He just pats your hand that he's holding on to. You have my heart, little fox.
You're lucky I don't eat them anymore.
Honestly, I can't blame you. Seems kind of gamey. But in the case you need one, I'm yours, baby. He just kind of toddles off a little bit faster. Oh, carry me.
That's so cute. Some time passes. It's difficult to tell. Maybe it's been days. Maybe it's been a week. You're tired. You come across change in the terrain. Eventually, the maelstrom subsides. This vein of the river pushes against the shores of a massive island rich with flora. The humidity in the island's atmosphere contrasts against the chill of the Samdo River crossing. Yellow cosmo flowers decorated with spots of whites and pinks cover the field as far as the eye can see. Welcome to the flower fields of Sochon. Oops. Wrong button, y'all.
I was muted, but I was going,
Art, yeah.
art.
Take a big whiff. Do we smell flowers?
It's fragrant. It's lively. It's bright. It's clarifying. You realize how dusty your lungs have gone. It's almost as if breathing again. Quiet almost seems to wash over the area as you leave the Samdo River behind. You see as you look up that there is a miniature sun flying above this area, and the rays are focused on this island alone.
A lot of flowers. Do we see those huts?
No.
Or not? Okay,
Just flowers.
just checking.
Is there a specific one, or just all of them?
You do see that there are more of those wooden totems standing watch over the area. They're kind of scattered throughout. And you see there are ghosts. They're sort of strewn about as well, and they seem to be bowed over as if doing some work.
Should we go ask someone?
You know, it's always a good idea to ask for help when you're not sure what to do. Granted, probably should find someone who does know what they're doing, and I don't know that these ghosts know. But we could try. Come on, you handsome son of a gun, go over there and ask them a question.
All right, let's go. And
I just realized he walks like Edna mode.
So good.
Oak will start moving towards the
Okay.
closest ghost.
As the group of you close distance and approach the ghosts, you realize that they are children and teenagers, young folks. And in this particular case, this appears to be a teenager. The ghost stands up and they're holding what looks like a watering can. They wipe at their brow and their eyes go wide as they look at the group of you in awe.
Hello there.
Hello.
Oh, they can talk. That's good.
It's a teenager, not a baby.
Right. Okay. We're looking for a specific flower. Can you help us?
There are many flowers in Seocheon.
I don't remember what the flower was called. Hey.
Revival.
Revival. A flower of revival.
Oh,
As you mentioned, the resurrection flowers, you see
Resurrection.
that the teenager withdraws. A look of fear crosses over their features. And you see them look over their shoulder almost instinctively in the direction that you were heading. And they say,
they are in a forbidden place. Only our master, the Igong, may go there.
Where's the piece of paper? Where's the piece of paper?
I look forward, presenting it.
We have a badge.
you present it, and the teenager bows down, squints, tries to study it, and hikes their shoulders in a look of defeat.
The Igong is hardly ever found anymore. He remains secluded for long periods of time.
Where he secludes?
You see him gesture further into the flower fields of Sochon, and he says,
Beware. With the absence of the Igong, flowers here have accumulated too much life energy and can be roused to fits of violence.
The flowers?
Ajushi, that means you're on Lidl for this whole trip. You're on it.
But what if I want to stop and smell the roses?
We can get low, but you're safer on Lidl. Please?
You could see he's like, fine, I'll get on the dog.
Thank you.
So what you're saying is we should be careful where we step so we don't anger the flowers?
Yes,
Okay.
there is also a monster that lives out there.
Oh, that too, okay. Well, friends, I can try to make us a little quieter. Maybe a little lighter of foot. And cast Pass Without a Trace.
"Ooh."
And yeah, so anyone within 30 feet of me, plus 10 your stealth checks.
Okay. What does it look like when you cast this spell?
Ooh, I think as we cast the spell, Yoon's gonna rub her hands together like this, and place their hands on the ground, and whisper a couple words, and as they whisper it, their hair starts to kind of lift a little bit, and then they start to lift a little bit, and then you all start to lift a little bit, and we all, while not necessarily floating, feel a little more lightweight than usual. And as Yoon steps forward on a piece of like a patch of dried grass, it's soft and subtle and not as crunchy as it would normally sound.
The ghost looks to you as you cast this spell with wide eyes full of wonder.
I think he's just gonna give a cute little wink and a shh.
You see the ghost kind of bashfully takes the watering can in two hands, bows to the group of you, and then turns to resume their work.
If they are corporeal enough, she's gonna give him a little like ginseng candy. And there you go, nice kid, nice.
He takes it, he puts the can down, offers two of his hands, and bows deeply from the hips.
감사합니다.
Hey. And he just kind of like tries to get him to stand up. Then he's like, no, you don't need to bow.
You see he grabs the can and pops the candy in his mouth and continues working with a little more energy.
Shall we?
Giddy up, Lido.
As the group of you continue forward, you pass more of these ghosts and you see spirits of various ages. They're all quite young. And the most interesting thing that you see for some time is you come across a patch of blue flowers that grow from a spot in the field that seems a little deliberate. They are fenced off with a plaque placed in front of them that reads "Memory Flowers."
Want to eat those so badly.
I don't know if you eat them. This whole time, as we've been passing through this whole field, you can, if you're paying attention, kind of see Ajushi like looking. Anytime he sees anyone who looks kind of feminine in like their 20s, he like looks to see if he can see anybody. and then kind of goes, and then just kind of keeps trying to like guide himself back to the path.
I want nothing to do with those flowers.
Oak is gonna smell one of the blue
As you
flowers.
approach, you hear a soft breeze that vaguely sounds like someone's voice. Roll me a D100.
I love a D100 roll.
Yeah. I never get to roll D. Where's my other? There it
They're
is.
so fun.
I swear to God, I need to take a picture. It's 69.
Nice.
Yeah, baby.
Nice.
I'm gonna just take a picture just because.
Do it. Remember this moment.
Good icon.
It's just
Okay. I love that I could hear the shutter of your camera. No, don't be sorry. That's so funny. Okay. As you breathe deeply the scent of this flower, your brain tingles and it conjures a memory. You remember a time that you were challenged. What do we see in your mind's eye?
Challenged. I think the memory that pops up for Oak is just par for the course for him. He's in. Oops, I wiped my nose. He's in a like small room with like a half elven woman who's like yelling at him essentially. And she's essentially challenging his entire like structure of relationships, really, you know what I mean? Like essentially not berating, but really like lecturing him about what it means to commit yourself to someone, etc. And I think that in this case he had strong enough feelings for her where he was kind of questioning it was challenging his viewpoint of what relationships look like, what he learned growing up. And it's kind of like the first time that he questioned whether or not he was right or wrong, or
Yeah. As this memory begins to slowly wash off of you and you shake your head, you look at this specific flower. You lock eyes with the petals of it in particular. What do you do with it?
I think Oak will reach out towards it as if he were gonna pick it, but instead he'll put his hand over the flower and kind of just touch it and run his palm over the soft petals and then pull away.
Okay.
And go back to his mount, his trusted friend.
The group of you see Oak kind of have a moment here, just gently touch one of the flowers and leaves.
Didn't poison you? You're fine?
Yeah, I'm gonna feel all right. Just memories. Nothing terrible. Some, I don't know. He seems confused right now.
She just kind of pats him on the back because I feel like he's like riding behind you, or maybe I don't know, like that, but he just kind of pats you quietly while he like nods his head.
Ihua doesn't want to pick up a flower, but Joe wants to pick up a flower.
I was about to say, pick those up. But what if you accidentally? Oh no, the wind!
I mean,
it
you
blew
can
it right into your
look at
nostrils.
it, right?
Okay. I think, I just sort of like, I think I maybe try to smell one and maybe it gets
Roll
too
me a
close.
D100.
Uh, 62.
Okay. You get a little too close and
You get a whiff of it, and your brain tingles, and you remember a time that you were challenged.
I think there's a memory of me as truly, maybe I'm still just about under 10 human years old, and I finally found the last heart that I needed to eat in order to become a actualized person, quote unquote. And I found myself aimlessly wandering until I hit the temple with which I learned of the dosa. I learned that there is a generative flow to all of the energies of the elements in the world, as well as there is a process of overcoming, of strife, and how to balance not only the good things but the bad things in my life, and how to cycle them through and to not wallow in the sadness that I was feeling as a child. And there was actually a Noru mentor there by the name of Hana that Yujin and I studied under. Yujin and I, who to a degree, we didn't grow up together, but we studied under the same temple. The moments that I share with Yujin that are just sort of like nostalgic, sorrowful memories. Sometimes I look over to see Yujin and I remember a particularly difficult time where I was acting out. I was being a big bitch of a child, and in general, I think I was reacting poorly against maybe a sparring session, and I was like tearing things up because I could. I was ripping things apart with my teeth, and it almost came to the point where I was about to hurt my sparring partner. And then Hana came over to me and, wasn't aggressive or there was no like discipline necessarily. But the hardest thing that always sticks with me is very much Hana was sitting with me silently, and just like I'm like huffing through my like child like crying, and Hana again, rather than disciplining me, talking me through every emotion that I was feeling. And as a child who just reacted up until then, I didn't want to experience that. And I learned, if you don't want these emotional one-on-ones where I really need you to challenge what you're feeling, I need you to regulate what you're feeling. And if it's difficult, we do something different. There's always a solution to something. There's always a way to cycle yourself back, either out or in. And sometimes being angry is good, but to the point that you're going to hurt someone when there's no meaning to it, that isn't what we do here. So emotional availability is the most challenging thing and it continues to be for Yuhua.
As it begins to fade and you realize that you're here gently being teased by these voices that conjure this memory, you look at this specific flower. What do you do with it?
I think I do pick it.
Okay. You can add 1 memory flower to your inventory. And give it a note of 3. And Iwa, as you move away from the memory flowers, camera pans to Yoon. What do you do here?
Well, Yoon's first instinct was to eat a flower, but was told that would be a bad idea. So I think that they would have just actually kept walking. And as all of this happens, like, very quickly, in their minds, they're all standing up, I think, by the point that Yoon turns around to see if anyone's following.
Okay.
And Yoon's just gonna be like,
Yoon, you see
Everything all right?
Ihwa is holding a flower, and as a druid, you know exactly what this is. This is a forget-me-not.
oh, that's a good flower. They help you remember things. And Yoon, I think, will remember a time where they had held a forget-me-not. And just kind of smile to themselves as they turn around and keep walking.
Okay. Ajashi?
It's just so good. I'm just here enjoying my time. I just happen to be playing too. I don't think he does. I think he kind of just looks on lovingly, and he knows that Ihwa is not like a touchy-feely person, as just stated so poetically. But he has this strange, like, Ihwa is definitely my elder, and I respect her for that, and I yield to her for that. But also, because she does look younger, he almost takes on, like, in his mind, wishes that's like what his life with his daughter would have been. And so he watches Ihwa be in maybe pain or confusion, and his little hand goes to reach out, and then he kind of just retracts it and, like, just gently holds it against his chest as he doesn't want to intrude. But he just kind of looks from person to person and is grateful for this little ragtag group that he has, that he knows aren't his grandkids, but in his heart he likes to think of them that way.
The group continues. And eventually, on your path, you come across what looks like a shed. You can see that it's one of those sheds that has like 3 walls and then one is exposed. It's more of like a nook. You can see that there are scythes, rakes, pitchforks, watering cans, and shovels, all other sorts of tools of varieties lining one of the walls of the shed. You can see that there are potted plants, some tree saplings, and they seem to be waiting to be transplanted into the ground. See, on the side table inside, there are several earthenware jars that line the top, and they're each labeled with a piece of paper. You see a girl. You are all at a distance, but even still, you can see she has unearthly features. Her skin is green and her hair is made of leaves, and she rifles through the insides of the jars with her hands. Let me get an insight check from everybody.
Cool.
That's a 1.
I know, with a plus
So that's
7
an 8 for
modifier.
you.
Ugh.
Dirty 20 for Olk, 23 from Ajashi, and a 14 from Iwa. Okay, Olk and Ajashi,
You can read her body language from a distance, and you can tell she is sneaking. She is stealing something from the shed.
How far away are we?
We'll say 20 feet. It's not too far away.
Hello, friend.
Yeah, and when Yin says that, Oak zooms forward on Lidl to kind of like get next to
Okay.
this person.
As you call out and you zoom forward, she startles with a "oh!" and she seems to cast a spell at the group of you. This is
Let's
Finchi.
see if I have.
Oh.
Okay. As she casts a spell on the group of you, we see a flurry of magic and bright colors cover the camera. And that is where we're going to end our session for today.
Oh!
Disintegrate.
Oh, no!
We're back in Yoon's flashback, and we're all like,
Yeah. Oh, no! Yoon eats everyone.
yeah.
Oh, no.
And that's the end.
And
Ta-da!
there's actually, just for a
Ow.
little bit of a spoiler, but not too much, there's actually special mechanics if someone that's living hits 0 hit points while you're in Chosong.
Oh, I guess we'll have to find out what that is.
Yeah.
That's really dangerous. Don't do that. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. This was Paradise in Bloom, episode 2 of 3. We will be having our final episode next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Before we close out for the evening, I want to say a very special thank you to Nine Heavens Press for this wonderful content. It's amazing. The small touches just really speak so profoundly to the quality of this story. I absolutely love every little bit about this. Also, thank you for sponsoring this production and just making this exist. Like, my heart is so happy. Like,
Yes.
it's so good.
It's so good.
And it's so affirming, too, just to have things that I just grew up knowing and coming into contact with. And yeah. Thank you. All right. Outros. Yeah, let's go. We'll start off with Saf. Please tell me about who you are, where we can find you, and what your favorite part was today.
It's me. I'm Saf. You can find me everywhere on the internet at a clerical error 7. I feel like I'm most active on Instagram. I don't really know. But you can also support me at arcanewares.com, where you can find all of your TTRPG streetwear that you could possibly need. We also have some drops coming up in the spring, so we'll have some brand new stuff coming if you want to check that out. And my favorite part tonight, I just loved hearing people's like little guilty flashbacks. Like, I love Sag RP, so that's like my favorite, and so I was eating that up tonight. That was the best.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll hop on over to Danny.
Hello, I'm Danny. You can find me on the internet at Bitterthorn. You know, I do a little fern cosplay that people like. Gosh, my favorite moment from tonight was kind of tearing up a little bit at the end here, where we were all talking about memories and everything, and I don't know, just everything that he does just makes us so happy and sad at the same time. So many feelings. But yeah, so I think that was my favorite time this session, was just all the feelings.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, Jess, Burst of Hope, was not able to join us today. We hope that Jess feels better, and we missed you and love you. And we're definitely going to be asking Jess, like, hey, what did Eugen think of during these things? You know, we need to know the sad stuffs. Yes. You can find Jess at Burst of Hope on Twitter, and also over at Utopia on Twitch. We'll hop on over to Carrie.
Hi, I'm Carrie, also known as Miscellanea. I'm Miscellanea on Twitter, Instagram, the TikTokies, pretty much everywhere. Vero, Hive. Anyway, I am a voice actor in training. I also like to do art sometimes, and I don't know, I'm around. What am I missing? Shit. My favorite part of tonight was absolutely when we were on the bridge and the Naga was staring us down, and Ajishi's flashback and learning about that specific. I absolutely teared up. I was gonna cry because it was so sad. I also love sad roleplay, even though this particular character is not really like relatable insofar as what his sadness. But you know what? Everybody's different. We're all unique. Yeah, that was absolutely my favorite part for sure.
Thank you. Next, we have a scary dog friend, aka Josephine.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. I'm Josephine. I'm at Scary Dog Friend. I am over at Going Crit RPG as the storyteller for ET1 by Night. Bad House RPG is new and up and coming. We got some new stories coming up for this spring. I do lots of other stuff. Follow me at Twitter. Twitter is the best place. My favorite part, I want to echo basically what Carrie said, the moment where Ajishi's going through the guilt part. Honestly, the guilt portion of all of this. It's always just such an interesting metatextual and fun thing to go through the memories of things that characters don't talk about with each other, but we all know outside of the story. It's always in this underworld situation as well, afterlife, it's very appropriate, it feels like. So it was all just chef's kiss.
Thank you. And I'm Stella Luna. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please consider giving us a follow. That's a free way that you can support more of this and get notifications for when we go live. Please also be sure to check out Nine Heavens Press. They are Heavens Press over on Twitter. They are our sponsor, and they wrote all of this. They made all of this. All of this beautiful art that you have seen here today. Let me just do a little recap of the art we saw. We saw the flower fields of Sachan. We saw the food stand in the underworld. We saw Yunji, which we'll get to meet next time. We also had Princess Soshin. And my favorite, Snail Bride. Love Snail Bride. Mrs. Choi is so cute. And then we have the Yonghwan, who started it all, the dragon god. I would like to ask everyone, what was your favorite Undying Corruption mechanic that came up that you thought was really cool? And this will just be an open discussion here.
Friggin' flowers. I want to know all the other things that can happen with those flowers.
I love a crisp D100 roll because you never get to do this, so that's the best. I tried in combat, but I just, you know how I roll, and that's badly. But it's really cool with the Hearth Domain Cleric as part of it. Once you reach 8th level, you can add your wisdom modifier, which is your casting modifier, to your oh my goodness, I'm going to read it to you so I don't botch this. You can add your wisdom modifier to the damage you deal with any cantrip that you have, which is so cool because if you do Toll the Dead, right, at this level you already get 2d12 if it's already pre-damaged, and then I get to add my wisdom modifier on top of that. That's so crispy, and you can only get that in Undying Corruption. That's so good. So good. And one day I'm going to use it when I roll well.
Well, the finale, which is next Friday, will definitely have some more fantastic combat. I definitely, just kind of like above game, I definitely wanted to expedite some of the combats just because of the time constraints that we have in doing this in a streamed setting. But there are some really awesome mechanics that if you, our viewers, end up playing Paradise in Bloom, a level 8 adventure in Undying Corruption, there are a lot more points that are fleshed out that we didn't have time to go over.
I like that red light district.
Yes, I love the Rift. The Rift is really cool.
I like that they included it, and it's like because it's positive, like it's sex positive.
Exactly.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
it's
I
a
don't know, I
legitimate
like that. I think
business,
that's
and
awesome.
it's part of living there. Support sex
The
workers.
naming convention is also very, very good. Calling it the Rift and what it stands
Yeah.
for, I was like, that's big brain mode. That's
So
big
good.
brain.
Yes.
There's also a courtesan background, which is also very fun. I forgot the specific Korean word for it, but just
The
love.
DM will pull
all
it
of that.
up. Because I should know.
Awesome.
Until then, my favorite mechanics is obviously you gotta play the Way of Dosa, the monk situation.
You
Because
Yes.
kicked ass.
Yeah, you did.
yeah,
Yes, it's
I
amazing to
certainly
watch.
did. And also the swarm smiting needle. It was funny because I like Ihua was totally perhaps the only one who could deal with the snakes if we actually had to fight the snakes that were coming in swarms, but she was fully like, you guys can handle it.
We'll figure it out.
That's why I
Yeah.
think she has like a false sense of safety because he's like, I don't know, he was around, so that's
Yeah.
fine. He's like, she'll beat him up for me, I don't know.
It's literally called sex worker. And I love that. That's dope.
And on that,
Hell
support
yeah.
sex workers. Sex work is real work. It is.
I also really liked the mechanics with your companion, Oak. That was
1,000
really
rearrests
cool.
and-
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't get to do the slam. There's a lot of stuff with the tacticians I didn't get to because I'm trying to be too strategic. So, I think I'll just.
Strategy.
How dare
strategy.
you
I'll just throw it out
strategize
there
even
next
once
time.
as a tactician? I'm sure we'll have an opportunity next time.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. Really, really appreciate it. I just closed all this already. We will see you next time at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Friday. Thank you. And please take care of yourselves. And good night. Bye-bye.